Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see everyone here. Sorry, I'm had a chest thing last week, and so my voice is very Mr. Ed. Sorry, very hoarse. Some of you will get that, some of you won't, and that's okay. I welcome everyone who's here in the sanctuary today, those who are joining us online over Zoom, and especially to those who are visiting today, welcome. We're so happy that you've joined us today. We are a people of many beliefs, many origins and sexualities and genders. We're all growing, all learning, all loved. Just as you are welcome here. As we begin our gathering, I respectfully acknowledge that I speak to you today from occupied Puyallup and Coast Salish ancestral lands. And I pay respect to elders past and present and extend that respect to their descendants and all Indigenous peoples. Our service is offered multi-platform. You'll see some of us in the sanctuary, others are zooming in online, and the service is recorded to be posted online later. For those meeting in the sanctuary today, we invite you to join us for coffee time following the service. Red mugs are for visitors who would like to chat. The sanctuary is equipped with a hearing assistance system. Pardon me. And devices are available on the table in the back of the sanctuary. Please see someone in the technology team if you need assistance. Be sure to check out our website, that's tahomauu.com, for e-news, to sign up for e-news and for the latest information. There are many ways. Oh, thank you so much. There are many ways to become involved and deeply connected with our spiritual community. Please take a minute to see if any of the volunteer opportunities mentioned in our e-news call to you. You can also email the board at board@tahomauu.com if you'd like to help, or talk with any of the members you see here who are identified as board members on their name tags. And now, please, if you would, make sure that your electronic devices are set to worship mode. I invite you to join me in putting aside all our lists, all our distractions, all our to-dos. Let's settle ourselves into this holy moment and open our hearts to learn and to unlearn, and to be fully present in this space. And now we begin our service.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Crystal Zerfoss, and I use she, her pronouns. I am a middle-aged woman with short, dirty blonde hair, pale skin, and I'm wearing a dark purple top with a purple and pink stole with a flaming chalice symbol on it. And behind me is a rainbow flaming chalice quilt with my lit chalice. Our opening words this morning are adapted from those of the Reverend Kelly Weissman Aspreth Jackson. Does the match love the wick? Does the wick love the wax or the air it consumes? Yes, without question. To melt together, to burn together, to change together, the pieces of the candle must love each other, as do we, a faith community. We burn together. We change together. We love together. My friends, come now and let us worship together.
Good morning. My name's Patty McPhee. I will be your celebrant this morning. As you can see, we're having an unusual service. I hope I don't stumble too badly, but you guys are always so generous. I appreciate that. For our candle lighting this morning, to light our chalice, Doug Booth will be lighting. He is a member of our board and helps in the sound booth. So now, if you could join with me in the chalice lighting words. We light this chalice in deep respect for the mystery and the holiness of life, in honor and gratitude for those who've gone before, with love and compassion for those who dwell among us, and with hope and faith for the generations to come. If you could rise in either body or spirit and join with me in singing our opening hymn, number 298, Wake Now My Senses. Wake now my senses and hear the earth's call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Give and receiving as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim, a guest of one new. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. For thy limits and praise the sublime. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. the time for all ages, with those young in body or spirit or who would like to have a story. Be aware that the story will be on the screen. So you want to be sure that you've got a place where you can see the screen. So thank you for joining me. See, the thing is, the kids can hear me, but you guys can't. Today, we're going to be talking about light. Not just any light, but all kinds of light. Your light, and talking about how we can carry light into the world. And we kind of forget. One of the reasons that we have a flaming chalice is the fabulous thing about firelight and candlelight is that you can share it and it doesn't dim. Have you thought about that? When you have a candle and a friend has a candle that's not lit, you can light their candle and your candle's just as bright as it was before. So when you share, there's more, not less. Isn't that fascinating? It is. I think it is. Makes me stop and think sometimes. So the story today is about how Unitarianism started and why, if you listen carefully, you'll learn why the flaming chalice is our symbol. Can everybody see? Okay, here we go.
Lamp in Every Corner by Janine Groschmeyer, adapted by Amanda Esco. Many years ago, in the land of Transylvania, in a mountain valley watered by quick rushing streams and shadowed by a great forest of beech trees, there was a small village full of wooden houses with dark shingled roofs. The people in the village were of the Unitarian religion, and they wanted a church of their own, a church set on the hillside, they decided, looking down upon the village. So all the people of the village labored long and hard to build themselves a church. The stonemasons hammered sharp chisels to cut great blocks of gray stone, then set the stones in stout and sturdy walls. The glazers made tiny panes of glass and fitted them neatly into the windows with leaded lines. The foresters sawed tall beech trees into enormous beams and laid the trusses for the ceiling, then covered the roof with close-fitting wooden shingles that wouldn't leak a drop of rain. The carpenters carved wood for a pair of wide open doors, setting them on strong pews so that the doors hung straight and square. A bell was brought from a faraway city, then hoisted by ropes with a heave and a ho to the top of the tower. At the end of the day, when it was finished, and when their church was finally done, all the people in the village stood back to admire it, and then to sing a song of happiness and praise. Their village had a church now, a church set on the hillside, looking down upon the village. "We will eat now," announced an elder, because everyone is hungry after their long, long days of work. "And later tonight, we will come back to worship and pray." So the people of the village went down the hillside to their homes and their suppers, all except one little girl named Zora and her father who stayed behind. They had brought their own bread and cheese. They ate their food slowly, sitting on the grass on the hillside, admiring their new church with its strong stone walls, its tall tower, and its magnificent bell. After they had eaten, they went back inside, opening those carved wooden doors to go into the glorious painted sanctuary inside. "Oh, look, Father," Zora cried, running from picture to picture, with her footsteps echoing off the stone walls. "See how pretty the church is?" She stopped in the center of the church, twirled slowly around. "See how grand?" Yes, it is, said her father with pride. But father, she said suddenly, we have not finished. What do you mean? There are tall lamps on the windows, but there are no lamps. There's no candles. The church will be dark when people come back. Oh, little one, the light of the church comes from its people. You shall see. He rang the bell to call the people to worship, then took his daughter by the hand and led her back outside. They waited on the grassy hillside next to the beautiful church of strong gray stone. The sun had set behind the mountain, and the night was coming up soon. Yet in the growing darkness, tiny points of light came from many different directions and moved steadily up the hill. Each family is entrusted with their own light, little one, her father explained. Each family has it to light its own way here. Where is our family's light? Your mother is carrying it. She will be here soon. The many lights moved closer together, gathering into one moving stream of light, all headed the same way, growing larger and larger, brighter all the time. Zora's mother arrived, bearing their candle in her hands. The father lifted Zora so she could set their family's candle tall in the iron stand. All around the church, other families were doing the same. Soon the church was ablaze in every corner, for all the people of the village had gathered to pray and sing. All through the worship service, Zora watched the lights flicker and glow. She watched her family's light most of all. When the service was over, her father lifted her high. She took another family's candle from the lampstand. Its curved sides and felt warm and smooth in her hands. Her mother carried it all the way home, the flame lighting the way. The lamp lit their house when they returned. Zora washed her face and got ready for bed by the light of that flame. Mother, said Zora. Yes, little one, her mother said, tucking in the red wool blanket around Zora's shoulders. Father said the light of the church come from its people. Yes. Also, people take their light from church, and they take other people's lights. And we have that light every day. Yes, indeed, said her mother. When we come to church, we bring our light, ourselves to our community. When we leave, we take the light from everyone home with us. And even when we're not in church, even when the light is not lit, we carry the light of truth and the flame of love to show us the way to be in the world. But each family only has one light, said Zora. So make another and let that light grow, said her mother. And someday tell your children to make more lights too, and their children, and their children. And now, good night, said her mother, and she kissed Zora on the cheek and on the forehead. Zora closed her eyes and drifted into dreams, while her mother looked down at her sleeping child. The years passed. Zora grew. The light came into her care. She kept it polished and clean, and when the bell rang out across the valley to call the people to worship, she carried it back and forth on the hillside, the flame always lighting her way. And when the time came, she made more lamps and gave them to her children, who made more lamps and gave them to their children. And so it went on throughout the years, even today. And, as always, the light of truth, the flame of love from that Unitarian church on the hillside continued to grow and show them and us the way.
And so, you, each one of you, will be lighting a candle at some point in your life, and you can share it with somebody else. And sometimes it's a real candle, and sometimes it's just your smile. sometimes it's putting your hand out and helping someone else. And now, if we could rise in body or in spirit and sing our children out, making an arch for them as they go to their classes.
We now come to the part of our service where we hopefully give generously. The offering that we take each Sunday isn't just a stale habit. It is an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. Our offering is an affirmation, yes, if you will. When we give, we say yes to something we value. With our gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of this faith. May our offering help us practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation, and use the tools by that money to forward our mission. Thank you so much. For those in the sanctuary, baskets will be passed, and for those of you online, you can use the links that are shown to contribute from home. And again, thank you.
And now, if you'll join me with the words on the screen to dedicate our offering. We dedicate ourselves and our offering to the work of this congregation, weaving a tapestry of love we call community, both within and beyond these walls. Now, if you will rise in either body or spirit and join with me in singing song number 391 in the gray hymnal, Voice Still and Small. Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing. In storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still we remain singing. Only my heart
Our reading today is entitled Two Things About the Light of Hanukkah by the Reverend Dr. Kendall Gibbons. First, put away the sewing. Set down the clock that is losing time and needs to be adjusted. The bank statements to be reconciled, the penmanship and spelling exercises to complete, the dried beans to sort by size. Look at the light. It is not to be spent in diligence, dutifully illuminating tasks, but seen. From the eye to the mind, to the memory, to the heart, to the soul. From beauty to gratitude to faith. Praise the light, the source of light. Be inspired. Do not use the light. Do not lose the holiness of this moment in the press of ought to be done. It is forbidden to work by the light of these candles. Would you burn your lover's last letter for kindling? Watch the glow like jewels against the velvet of night sky. Waste this light in awe, as in the ancient temple it is said they burned the oil for reverence and thanks. Blessed is the shaping of our lives by commandment and memory. Blessed is the light. Second, put the lamp in a window, in a doorway, on the balcony, in the front yard, on the village green, in Times Square. Release its beauty to public view. Do not hoard the light. It's not yours to gloat over in private. Wherever, whenever it is safe, announce the miracle. Invite the neighborhood to remember with you. Perhaps next door, they only half recall the story from some dim childhood ritual. Perhaps your 4 flames, then 5, then 6, might wake their dedication anew. Or in the city of 1,000 names for God, or none at all, those faithful candles might remind the hurried and the fallen, the defeated of heart, that beauty is yet possible, that the intention of higher purpose endures. Even to rouse the captive mind to curiosity. What's the story with those lights? Is an opening for the work of spirit. Testify. Let the tongues of flame bear witness to the world that miracles abound and joy abides. Blessed is the heritage of freedom. Blessed is the custom that illuminates our common darkness. Blessed is the sharing of the light. We light this chalice. We kindle this flame. We summon this fire. In faith communities the world over, lighting the flame is an integral part of worship, spiritual deepening, connection with the divine and with one another, as well as a ritual practice with deep symbolism and meaning. Today, we're going to explore a number of ways in which lighting the flame sparks inspiration, calls us forth, and takes us deep within. Now, there are many ways in which we use candles and fire. Not the least of these are for everyday things like when the power goes out. And we might have to light a candle to do our homework or pay the bills. I'm sure that's happened to you once or twice, right? Or maybe you use light to celebrate someone's birthday, singing and laughing and making wishes. Or perhaps you use the light of candles to simply relax after a long, hard day in a nice, warm bath. In each of these, there is comfort in knowing the flame will be there for us and serve its purpose. When we turn to religion, we find the same is true, but with the added level of symbolism, meaning, and ritual. For example, there are three religious traditions who celebrate Diwali, the festival of lights. Diwali honors the rich and glorious past and teaches its observers to uphold the true values of life. It's celebrated with worship, sharing sweets, fireworks, and lights. People learn to rejoice in the inner light and the underlying reality of things. Hindus celebrate the victory of light over darkness and good over evil during Diwali. They light candles in celebration of the return of Prince Rama and his wife Sita from a 14-year-long exile and war. The candles, or diya, as you see here, are lit. They're lamps that symbolize the lights that were lit along the path so the pair could find their way home in the dark. The Jains celebrate Diwali to commemorate Lord Mahavira, who attained nirvana, complete knowledge and enlightenment. Lord Mahavira established the Dharma, the teaching, followed by Jains worldwide. And for Sikhs, Diwali is a story of the struggle for freedom. It celebrates the victory of Guru Hargobind in 1619. Guru Hargobind refused to leave prison until he was able to bring along 52 princes who were imprisoned with him. The festival of lights, indeed. Continuing on, in Taoism, candles are placed on altars to represent the moon and sun, or the yin yang. Two opposites but interconnected, mutually perpetuating forces. The two candles represent the differences and the harmony in the light and dark in life. For Muslims, candles are used during Eid al-Fitr, otherwise known as breaking the fast, the celebration after the month-long observance of Ramadan. During Eid al-Fitr, people dress up in their finest clothes and give each other treats to celebrate, while lights and candles are decorated around the house and religious spaces to celebrate getting closer to Allah. In Buddhism, candles represent respect or deference and help to call on a state of impermanence and change. Candles are lit during a candle festival before the time of Lent to invoke change. Buddhists parade around with candles of all colors that represent beliefs of their community, willpower, and unity. Now, as we turn to the season that is among us now, there are several faith traditions who mark this wintertime with holidays and ritual celebrations. One such tradition comes not from a particular religion, but it's observed by people of all faith backgrounds. This is the 7-day celebration of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is an African-American and Pan-African holiday originated to reaffirm and restore African heritage and culture. Kwanzaa is anchored by 7 principles known as the Nguzo Saga. During Kwanzaa, 7 candles are lit in a kinara representing these 7 principles, aiming to inspire Black people in Umoja, the goal of unity; Kujichaguli, self-determination, the ability to define ourselves; Ujima, collective work and responsibility, considering the problems of others as our own; Ujamaa, cooperative economics, investing in Black communities; Nia, purpose, the collective vocation to build and develop community to restore traditional greatness. Kumbha, creativity and preservation of the earth. And Imani, faith, believing in our people and the righteousness of our struggle. The black candle, the unity candle, is lit first, representing the people. The red candles represent the struggle or bloodshed of the past. The green candles represent the earth or the abundance of possibilities the future holds. These are lit one a day for 7 days, the black candle first, then alternating between red and green. For Christmas, or for Christians, the season of Advent and its culmination on Christmas weave ritual and story throughout weeks of preparation and celebration. Advent consists of the 4 Sundays prior to the day set aside to recognize the birth of Jesus of Nazareth, whom Christians name the Son of God, the Messiah. On each Sunday in Advent, a different candle is lit in the Advent wreath, a circular container made of evergreen leaves holding 5 candles. The wreath itself represents God's infinite love and the hope of eternal life brought about by Jesus Christ. The first candle, known as the Messiah or prophecy candle, representing the prophets who predicted the coming of Jesus, symbolizes hope. It's purple or blue in color. The second candle, known as the Bethlehem candle, representing the journey of Joseph and Mary, is also purple and symbolizes peace and preparation. The third Advent candle represents the shepherds and their joy. This one is pink or rose in color, symbolizing joy. And the fourth candle, known as the angel's candle, represents the peace that passes all understanding, symbolizing love. The final and center candle is known as the Christ candle. This white candle represents purity and godliness and is also a symbol of victory of life over death. Interestingly, you might be aware a number of the practices, both religious and secular, used around the world for this time of the holiday season actually come from our long-standing pagan rituals and practices from years and years ago. Pagans and Wiccans today continue to celebrate the dark, using flame and fire to call forth, to relinquish, and to cultivate. Pagans use candles to help with meditations, as well as to calm the atmosphere in the room and to invoke focus. Now, honoring celebrations of the winter solstice, of Yule, and of the turning of the wheel with the coming of the new year, pagans light lights to pay tribute to gods and goddesses, to welcome the returning light, the sun, and to burn away regrets. One regular practice is calling forth the spirits of the directions, the spirits of the natural elements. East, south, west, north, air, fire, water, earth. Candles are lit for each, and a center candle is lit for spirit. For Jewish folks, this evening marks the 4th night of 8 nights of Hanukkah, the Jewish festival of lights. Along with traditional songs, blessings, and daily prayer, Jews light candles in reverence of miracles, to celebrate resilience, and to call for the unity for all. Based in the telling of a small group of 2nd century Jews led by Judah the Maccabee, who defeated one of the mightiest armies on earth, reclaimed the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, and rededicated it to the service of God. Hanukkah celebrates the miracle that when they went to light the temple's menorah following their victory, there was only enough consecrated oil for one day, and yet the oil miraculously lasted for 8 days. The candles of the menorah are lit each night of Hanukkah, one at a time, using the shamash, called the attendant. Each night another is added until on the 8th day, the full array is ablaze. Jews light a menorah in each household and place them in a doorway or in the windows. The Hanukkah flame, the one that lasts beyond our expectations, is representative of the enduring love at humanity's center, writes Jason Cook. It points the way toward truth and reason when people are otherwise lost and distracted. Love is being able to simultaneously hold two complex ideas at once: that all humanity is to be loved and respected, even as some of humanity needs to be checked for its transgressions. Now, this has been a whirlwind of exploration of several religious traditions and their use of lighting the flame for various celebrations, rituals, remembrances, and prayer. The one we haven't yet talked about is our very own, the symbol of our faith as Unitarian Universalists, the flaming chalice. It signals our UU identity and points to the transformations that take place when we are held within religious community. The flaming chalice is a symbol of freedom, a symbol of community. It's a symbol of the indomitable spirit of human beings. We look to it as the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope. Perhaps you have your own personal meaning tied to it. The flaming chalice began as an image created by Austrian artist and refugee Hans Deutsch. Hans Deutsch created this, connoting sacrifice and love. The image was stamped on documents created by the Unitarian Service Committee to help Jewish refugees escape Nazi persecution on the eve of World War II. The logo was used to make the paperwork look more official. Eventually, the flaming chalice design formed the basis of the American Unitarian Association's official logo. And then after Unitarian Universalism, after Universalism and Unitarianism merged in 1961, the symbol acquired two overlapping circles to represent each of the two traditions. In the 1980s, UU children were invited to interpret the flaming chalice symbol into different media, and soon after, those chalices morphed into objects that could be lit. The first documented uses of chalices being lit in church sanctuaries are from Sundays in which the children and youth led worship. The flaming chalice is a symbol that was invented to represent courageous deeds that were already taking place, which was then developed into the symbol we use today by children in the cradle of love. We light this chalice. We kindle this flame. We summon this fire. My friends, today, on this fourth day of Hanukkah, in the season of giving, the season of lights, let us remember that while we are celebrating and joyous, there are those among us who are hurting and afraid. Let us keep front in our minds our Jewish siblings in faith and in culture, who continue to endure persecution here at home and abroad. Let us keep in mind the peoples of Israel, of Palestine, all peoples in the way of war's destruction. May our hearts go out to people of various faiths, nationalities, ethnicities, sexualities, genders, abilities, all who face discrimination, hatred, and violence. Our faith calls us to listen to their cries for reprieve and to work for the liberation of all people. We light this flame, and through the wisdom of many religious traditions, we use our collective light to illuminate love in the world. We take in the flame's purpose and usefulness. We rejoice in the inner light, reveling in the reality of things and upholding true value of life. We honor the differences and the harmony in light and dark, in life. We light this flame to celebrate getting closer to the divine. We live with respect, believing in community, in willpower, in unity, and we call upon an understanding of impermanence and change. We kindle this flame to inspire unison, self-determination, accountability for community, generosity, purpose, creativity, and faith. We invoke focus, call upon the spirits all around us, and we let go of regret. We summon this fire in honor of our own belovedness, kindling the flames of hope, peace, joy, and love in our hearts and in our world. We celebrate resilience, revel in miracles, and call for the unity of all people. We light this chalice as a source of our Unitarian Universalist identity, as a symbol of freedom, of community, and of the indomitable human spirit. In helpfulness and through sacrifice, the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope burns on. Reverend Gibbons reminds us that beauty is yet possible, that the intention of higher purpose endures. The Hanukkah flame, the one that lasts beyond our expectations, is representative of the enduring love at humanity's center. We light this chalice. We kindle this flame. We summon this fire. May it be so, and amen. Friends, for our closing hymn today, we are going to share together in the traditional Hanukkah song entitled Light One Candle. This song is one of hope and of overcoming. And it's complicated right now for many among us, particularly our Jewish siblings in faith. I invite you to take a moment of intention to hold the complexity, the messiness of current struggles and past triumphs, to hold the seeming disconnect between pain and joy, between death and life. You may focus on the flame of our chalice as that symbol of deep love as you contemplate these things. We will hold a few moments of silence. May peace abound. Amen. Now I'd like to invite you to rise in body and or in spirit to join in singing our closing hymn, Light One Candle, number 221 in our gray hymnal. The words will appear on the screen.
Light one candle for the Maccabee children with thanks for their light and guide. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice, justice and freedom denied. Light one candle across the don't let the light go out and down, lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, but let it shine throughout our lives. Candle for the candle and the need to get down. Light one candle for those who are suffering, pain we learned in the home. Light one candle for all we believe in, the better and terrible dawn. One candle with the rest beginning, that's not in our life. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, and let it shine throughout all dark tears. Let it slip down entirely, entirely, deep in my life and I believe. What's the commitment to those who have died? May God not remain. Have we come this far awakened? This to say within. Light one gun, does live and not fail. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears.
I offer these closing words from Eric Williams. My friends, may the spirit of love be a living flame before you, a guiding star above you, a firm path below you, and a gentle presence behind you. Go forth now in peace and in gratitude. Let your light shine and manifest love in all you do. Amen, and blessed be.
As we extinguish the chalice, join with me in the words on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And if you can rise in body and or in spirit and join with us in our closing blessing song. Thank you all for joining us today. Please go now in peace. Join us for coffee and treats. It's Christmas and there's a whole lot of goodies over there. If you would like to speak to one of us, please grab a red mug and let's have a conversation.